Hello, 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 guys. This is something that has been not bothering me or weighing, but I guess I wanted to get you guys' opinion. Um, as you know, I have three children, three girls, and my first two was from my high school love, teenage love, whatever you want to call it, first love, whatever. And that didn't work out too well. And I had my first daughter, and after having her, when things have gotten so bad in our relationship, um, when I say bad, like this guy was a lunatic. That's all you need to know. Um, he tried to take my life on several occasions, and and tried to do it in front of my daughter when she was around 3 years old. This man used to beat me so bad and do things to me that I wouldn't even do to my worst enemy. And I hid it from my family for so long. I hid it from my family because of the simple fact that my mom was a teen mom, and you hear me say that a lot. She had me 14, 15ish, 15. She had me really young, and so her and my dad were really young. So some of the times, most of the times, those relationships usually don't last because they're so young and really don't really know who each other are or haven't grown to experience each other. So it's like really far and in between that you see somebody that young stay together. Um, my dad was in prison all my life, in and out of prison, in and out of prison, and so he and I really didn't build a really good relationship. I'm venting. I don't know if I'm gonna put it out. I'm not sure. Put this video out. I'm not sure, but it's just a lot of stuff on my mind. Um, I found myself not wanting my children to be in the same situation that I was in, not having two parents. And so I dealt with those things. My mom never knew, no one ever knew that this guy was putting his hands on me. One time my mom seen him at a store when we were together, and he was just scratched up. I mean, that's basically all I was able to do. He was scratched up so bad, and he told my mom that he was jumped by some guys on the another side of the city or whatever. And she was like, and they scratched you up, but she didn't think nothing of it. Long story short, I went through so much with him, and during that time, I did share it with a cousin of mine. She was actually incarcerated in Manhattan. She was incarcerated. She did 2.5 years, and out of all the family members, I'm the only one that literally stuck by her, was there for her, letters, packages, visits, the whole nine. Because I didn't live in the inner city, so where she stayed in Manhattan from where I stayed was a good 6 hour, 5 6 hour drive. Well, 4.5 5 hour drive. And so yeah, I was the only one that actually literally went to visit her outside of her mom. I think her mom went, but I'm not sure if she even went often. So she was my comfort, and she was my confidant, the person I can lean on, going through this so young by myself. Because I was 19 when I had my first baby. So I was going through so much, and I didn't want to share it with nobody because I was committed to have this relationship only fail because I couldn't do no more. Um, oh my gosh, that when I tell you some of the stuff I've been through, what he did to me with other women, how I was buying other women clothes, picking out outfits because he didn't have the taste, and seeing them women in the clothes that I picked out, and they were so little and petite, didn't realize he was telling me these was his boy's daughters, and his boy was going into the city and he ain't gonna be around for Easter, so we gotta go pick out his daughter something to wear, and the size was so small, so I didn't think nothing of it until one day I met this person and seen that I was picking out another woman's clothes. But anywho, I'm talking, oh my gosh, we've been through some stuff. Long story short on that is when I met him, he had just got out of prison. And in the back of my mind, I said to myself, I hope I'm not going the same direction as my mom. Um, I just don't want that. And when I met him, he had just got out of prison. He was 21, I was 17 or whatever. And we just clicked. He told me at this party it was a big drug dealer. My father is like was a kingpin. So I knew that lifestyle. A lot of y'all, when y'all see me and try to fill out who I am and where I'm coming from, y'all have no clue. At the age of 8 and 9, I transported guns, drugs. I did so much. I seen so much. I've done so many things. Maybe you know what? Out of all things, and I will say, I've never done a drug. I've never even done weed. I've never smoked weed in my life. I've never smoked cigarettes. I'm not a drinker. None of the above. I've always been a leader. I never followed anyone. I even used to have roommates when I was young that smoked weed and drunk, and that wasn't me. I was trying to hook my apartment up, stay fly, whatever. I didn't. That just wasn't me. And they was like, "Oh, you're not gonna try it?" No, no, no. This gonna be random, but I'm throwing out some of the things on my heart. So anywho, I went through so much with him. We became in love, blah blah blah. Not even 90 days after I met him, he went to jail. So this was my first experience with a guy who had got locked up, and I was visiting him and doing the whole nine, what I thought I was supposed to do. He ended up getting out, and when he got out, not too long after, we ended up getting an apartment together. And moving forward, I ended up pregnant at 18. And he was on parole, and he was doing a lot of things that he shouldn't have been doing. But I love the money, I love the lifestyle. I didn't want for nothing. He was good to me. At that time, he had never ever put his hands on me till I was around 5 months pregnant. He put his hands on me. He smacked the heck out of me for me telling him not to go back out. It was over his curfew, and just please don't go back out or whatever. Um, so he had never shown any aggression or anything towards me until that it was a couple weeks after he first hit me. He came in with his boys, and it was his curfew time once again. And here I am, babe, please don't go out. I don't feel right about this. You don't need to go back out. I just got a feeling he gonna pop up today when you're not here. Blah blah blah. Long story short, he ended up going to jail that night, not listening, and I didn't see him physically in a home together till 3.5 years later. My oldest daughter was 3.5 years old. Well, 3 years old when he came home, and it was hard. It was hard for me as a young girl to stick with him, knowing this dude had people watching me no matter where I was, what I did. He had people watching me. I can go to a club out in another city, and they could tell me everything I had on because he had people watching me. And he was a very known person in the area, whatever. So it was crazy because he knew my dad and he feared my dad, but it was just a crazy funky situation. My dad was in prison too. So he did his time, and I was faithful to be there for him and support him, letters, packages, visits, constantly. I did what I needed to do to support him because I loved him. um, and through him coming home, when he came home, finding out that I talked to a couple people and he was just not feeling that, and I'm like, I'm young, you shouldn't boggle me down. I was there for you, and I did never slip up on what I needed to do for you during the time that you were gone. 3 years, that's a lot for me, never doing a bid with anyone. So he came home and he became very abusive, and it got worse, 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 worse. And it got so, I mean, it was to the point where, I mean, he was so crazy. He used to just knock me out for the fun of it, and kick me around the house, grab me by my hair, by my braids, whatever I had. He was so evil. And he wanted to embed in my head that no one would ever want me, and that nobody wants a woman with a child. Like, he wanted to embed that in my head, and I started believing him. So I kind of hid it from everybody because I felt he loves me, and this is what it's all about. And so I stuck there until this one day, even after him trying to drown me in the tub in front of my baby, the whole nine, I still stuck it out. until one day it got so bad where he beat me so bad he unplugged the phones, and I was trying to get attention to my neighbor because she used to hear me getting beat up, and she told me, she said, baby, if you ever need me, she was like, keep a stick somewhere, keep sticks in corners, and just hit the roof and whatever, and I will be there. And that particular day she was not there. And when I say he beat me so I was unrecognizable the way he beat me. And I knew this man had something going on because I mean, the way he beat me was like he was trying to beat a dude on the street who just did something to his daughter or whatever the case may be. Um, and I had nobody to run to, but this one particular lady in the building that I lived in, she was on the third floor, and I had a wife beater on and underwears, and my whole wife beater was just bloody. My eyes were bleeding, nose was bleeding, ears was bleeding, head was bleeding. I was just bloody. And when I ran to her door, knocked on the door, she was just like, oh, like she just was like, so, oh my gosh, oh my, she didn't know what to do. She just stood there in shock because my face was so unrecognizable. I was like, I'm your neighbor from downstairs. She said, oh my gosh, come in, come in. So long story short, that was the end of our relationship because I just knew he was going to kill me. It was going to be over. And all this at, 20, 21 years old, I left him and found out with my second daughter a couple weeks later after I let my family know they were heated. My uncles wanted him. Everybody wanted him. He hid for the longest. That I was pregnant with my second daughter. So all that I was going through, I was 6 to 8 weeks pregnant when I found out I was pregnant. So all that I was going through, I was pregnant. And my cousin that I was telling you about, she knew all this. I told her everything. I confided with her with everything. And I go home every year. And when I go home to my husband's family, which is in upstate New York, because we always do a big cookout or a birthday or something for his birthday, which is June 19th. And this particular year, 2 years ago, not last year, but the year before, or was it last year? Because it seemed like everything moved so fast. Yeah, just this last year when we went home, I was like, hey, cuz, I said, I ain't seen you in a minute, because she, do her own thing. She's not, how you got family members, but they're not always around the family, and family don't know what's going on with them. So she was one of them. So I reached out, I was like, I miss my cousin, what's going on? And she used to stay here in South Carolina, but she moved away, and we had some issues, with her following behind a dude that I felt, she needed to focus on herself. She don't have no kids, whatever. This cousin, um, we started talking, and she was like, girl, I'm talking to such and such now, which is my little brother's cousin on his father's side. They used to date before. And I was like, for real? I said, where you find him at? So, we just casually talking. Long story short, we get to New York, and I was like, well, I'm going to come scoop y'all because I want y'all to be there for the cookout, because we do this every year. And I try to get as much of my family to come up to my husband's city and enjoy the cookout. And then after the cookout, we'll go bowl, shoot darts, or go do something, something nice with everybody. So this particular year, the guy that she said she started dating with, and I started talking, and he liked my cousin, he liked my peoples too, so I was like, oh my gosh, y'all back together, whatever. He was like, yeah, cuz we're gonna see where it's gonna take us, da 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 da, we're gonna see how this gonna go, how we wasn't seeing eye to eye last time, but we're gonna see what we can do. He was all excited. So when we got there, we was talking a lot about the South or whatever, and it was like they really want to move. And I was like, well, Nessa, you was here before, so you know how it is. She was like, yeah, and I did like it. I was just going through some things. I think I might want to come back. I was like, that'll be the business. So he was like, yeah, cuz I got to get up out of here. I need something new, blah, blah, blah. So they're going to get together. I'm like, y'all might as well come down. I said, cuz you ain't never been here. Come check it out. He was like, yeah, that's what I'm going to do. So they had decided they was going to move down here, whether they together or not. She wanted to come back, and he wanted to leave and get a new, scenery. So he ended up coming, but she didn't. Not even 2 weeks after we had got back here from that visit, she calls me. She said, cuz I need you. I was like, what's up? She was like, I know, I know you got children, you got a family, but I really need you. She said, I need to borrow like $200. And I was like, well, what's up? She was like, she renting furniture. I mean, to each his own, but you don't have no kids. There's no reason why you should have to do that. I'm sorry, that's just my opinion. You renting furniture, and she's renting furniture, and she only got 2 payments left, and if she don't make this payment, they're gonna take her furniture, and she don't want them to do that, blah 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 blah. And I was like, okay, cool, let me talk to the hubby, and then if he say it's good, I send it to you. So I sent her the money, and she sent it back just as she promised. And so months go by, him and her feuding, and we discover she's not gonna come because she making all these excuses. But he came. He was in South Carolina maybe 3 weeks after we left and got back. So he came. He was serious about coming, and he was like, "I don't know what's going on with your cuz, but I'm here. I'm single. Whatever. If she comes, she comes. She don't, she don't." And I was like, "Yeah, cuz, just worry about you. If she come, it is what it is." So um he ended up coming, she didn't. And so one night, me and him sitting there, we just reminiscing about old times and things that we used to go through and just the drama of our lives. Because, whoa, one day I tell y'all, this girl right here, mm, I done some things. I never sold drugs. I never sold my body. I'm going to tell you that. Never. But I did some things that make you be like, wow, you used to do, yeah, yeah. So I thank God for where he has brought me, because I wasn't I don't got time to talk chick. I don't have time to talk. We ain't trying to talk. We just gonna get to what we need to do, and we gonna keep it moving, because I don't do we just not gonna do you said I know, I ain't got time for that. I'm gonna hit you real quick and it's over. So anywho, that was my mentality. I didn't care about niggas. I didn't care about chicks. I don't care about your kids. I don't care about nothing. Trust me. One day I'm gonna share that with you about how I had to say enough was enough, Camille. You gotta snap out of it. And because I just was hard. I didn't care about nobody. I really didn't. But my baby. So we reminiscing, and I'm like, we just started talking about her. And he was like, cuz I gotta tell you something. And no, we didn't. I'm lying. We started talking about something else, and somehow he was just like, "Cuz, I gotta tell you something." I'm like, "Well, what's up?" He was like, "Cuz, promise you me," because they know how I am. Every time family come to tell me something, they always gotta say, "Promise me you're not gonna get mad and do nothing." Because I don't care. I didn't care. I could care less, literally, about anybody. You feel what I'm saying? And that's how my dad was. So I was like, okay, well, what's up? He was like, cuz, no, for real, promise me you. I knew it was something, because he my older cousin, and he was no joke neither. Like, he could care less about people too. And so he was like, cuz, you gotta promise me, say promise. I'm like, okay, so okay, I promise. But I hate making a promise because I don't know what you about to tell me, but I wanted to know, so I said I promise. And he was like, cuz, you know why she don't call you back? And I'm like, who? What is you talking about? He was like, you know why she don't call you back? And I kept saying, Canal, what is you talking about? Like, what? Who don't call me back? Your cousin, Nessa. And I'm like, no, we haven't never, kept that communication really like that. It was just like, if I see her, she see me, we talk, we chat. It wasn't, so it didn't dawn on me what he was talking about. And I was like, no. He was like, cuz. And I said, what? Tell me. He was like, yo, her and your kid's father is together. I said, you gotta be kidding me. Cuz I'm not joking, I ain't lying to you, blah blah blah. And so I was hurt. The reason I was hurt is because all the time we've been here going on 9 years. My number has not changed. Even when I transfer from Singular to T-Mobile, it has not changed. So I transferred, and when I transferred my number, I did the thing where I pay extra for them to say this number has been changed to whatever. When we first bought our house, the first night that we bought our house, we was here 9 months and we bought our first house. Like, that happened so fast. So the night that we laid down in our first house, it was just such an awesome experience. My phone ringing, is this dude. Oh, CP, I know you probably don't want to hear from me, but I really want to talk to you. I want to keep the communications open. I want to, be in my kid's life. Let me tell you something. I would never take a child from their father, because what he did to me has nothing to do with the kids. That's how I feel. So in my mind, I'm like, okay, here's what I want you to do. If you want to be in their life, because I'm married now, you get what I'm saying? And I have a husband who is awesome. And now at this point, my babies are getting older, and I've been dating my husband since my middle girl that I found I was pregnant with was like 8, 9 months. She's 10, getting ready to be 11, and we got a 14-year-old getting ready to be 15. That's how long we've been together. I said, so all I need for you to do, out of respect for me and mine, call me weekly. I ain't saying every day. Call me weekly to check up on them. If you do that, then I know you're serious about being in their lives and we can move forward. And then I'll allow you to conversate with them because he's all they know right now. And we don't need no confusion. Long story short, haven't heard from him again since then. That's all you need to know. He has several children, maybe four, 3 to 4 children since then. And one of the mothers tried to reach out to me saying we need to keep the kids close. No, boo boo, that's not my job. That's his job. I didn't spread these kids around. My kids are good. When they get older, I would never say nothing bad, and I've never said nothing bad around them about their father, even though I could say a lot and got people to prove it. I would never do that. But what I will do is allow them as adults to decide if they want to be a part of that family or even reach out to him. That's it. That's all I can do. So anyways, so when he said that, I was tripping because she knew everything I went through. The abuse, the cheating, the everything. Everything she knew. I told her everything. And you know how they say you don't tell people, women, certain stuff. I didn't tell her nothing fancy or nothing personal about sex or anything like that. It was more so of something to vent when I was going through issues or the negative parts of our relationship. That's the stuff I told her. So I was kind of confused, like, what would make those things want you to be interested? Why would those things make you want to be interested in a person so evil? Can't even explain it. And when he told me, I was sad and I was scared. I wasn't worried about the relationship because I could care less about them two being together. I was concerned for her life because I knew she's a smaller girl than I am. She's a beast. Her mouth is a beast. Like the women in my family, no joke. No joke. Um, and like when she did her 2.5 years in prison, it was just like she became a different person. And she don't care. She has a don't care mentality like we all did at that time. Just thank God I'm not doing life for some of the stuff. Anywho, so yeah, she has a don't care mentality. And my mindset wasn't so much of that when I was with him. I tried to, because I knew he was crazy. But hers is she just really don't care about nothing. I'm like, oh my gosh, I just pray for my cousin to keep her life and that he doesn't do nothing or give her no type of disease because he's just that evil. So it wasn't about that. That they were together. And then my next concern was, how could you be a real woman and be with a guy who has children that he does nothing for? That was my problem. And that you're my family and my kids call you auntie. You get what I'm saying? You're my family. My kids call you auntie because they love you just that much. You lived in my house. Come to find out, when I gave you the money for your furniture, he was sleeping on that furniture. That was the furniture y'all two shared together. That's why she didn't come to South Carolina, because she was messing with him. So all that time she was in my face, in my truck, around me, we just having a ball. I came to stay at night at her house and she overdid. I mean, she bought food for us. I was like, cuz we got to go back to his town because I don't have no underwears. I don't have nothing. We didn't plan to stay overnight. She was like, oh, I'll go buy you underwears. Like, she overdid everything. I was just thinking it was just love for my cousin because we really get down like that. And so I talked to her sister and I talked to other, like, my family members, sisters and brothers, and I mean cousins, her sisters and all that. Was like, oh my gosh, like, what's going on? This is the kicker. I didn't really believe it until I start seeing her post on Facebook. Then when I start seeing her post on Facebook, she went and got his name tattooed. It's about this wide, literally, across her arm. His name is real short, 3-letter word. So she got his name. Well, funny part is, my name is right here on his arm. My name literally is from, no, I'm sorry, yeah, well, from the inner of, am I doing this right? From the inner of here all the way down in the inner side of his arm, my name stands there. So how does it make you feel when he's holding you or comforting you or whatever you want to call it? Y'all cupping, spooning, and my name is there. That's one thing. Second off is, well, third thing is it just bothers me that she can be on Facebook and they showing all his money because he still hustle. He's almost 40. He really need to give it up and get his life together. He don't do nothing for his children or nothing. Women just take care of him and he hustles and his money is all his. And they're showing the money and doing all this. Those things bother me. And her sister was like, cuz you good. I said, what you mean? I said, I love her to death. She's still gonna be my cousin. She always gonna be my cousin. I said, I don't care about their relationship. I fear for her life. I said, but then again, the other part of it is her being with him knowing he doesn't do nothing for his kids. That's the other thing that bothers me. She was like, cuz you good. Cuz either I would have stepped to her, I would have told her a piece of my mind, we'd have been fighting, blah, blah, blah. Because it's just out of respect. That was your first love. Anybody knew you, they knew him. That's how long y'all was together and all the stuff that y'all been together, been through. It's crazy. And this is her blood sister. And I'm like, cuz it ain't that serious. She was like, girl, you grown. I can say you truly have changed. I can say you truly have changed. I say, yeah, I got children. I got a husband who loves me, loves my children, is an excellent father to my children. Ain't no need for me to be sweating and losing sleep, because that's not gonna last. It's not gonna flourish. It's not gonna be nothing. You get what I'm saying? Um, so I keep getting from my family that I need to say something to her. And I'm like, why? What do y'all think, YT? What do y'all think? Why should I say something to her? I feel like if I say something to her, the level of her mindset will not comprehend. As a woman, I have just I have every reason to feel the way I do as far as you being with him and he not doing for his children. But her mindset is not going to comprehend that. Her mindset is going to comprehend, I'm jealous, I still want him, or I still have feelings for him. That's why I'm not even going to give her that. That's why I don't want to say anything. That's why I don't want to approach her. And I was talking to my cousin. I said, we need to do better. And I want to set up like a woman's retreat where we go somewhere different every year. And she was like, yeah, cause our family is just all over the place and it hurts me, when I be with my fiance and I see his family doing this, that, and the third. I'm like, why can't my family be like that? I said, I know, cuz. So we was talking and I said, cuz, I can hug her. I can still chat with her like nothing ever happened. That really does not bother me. She was like, but don't you just want to know why? I said, not really. Not really. I do want to know why she would stoop so low to want somebody like that. That makes me think she has a lot going on up here, and in here. Some things ain't right. That's the only thing I can say. But other than that, I really don't. And even my mom and then was like, wow, you're not going to say nothing? I don't feel I should. And then I found out they live an hour and a half away. Supposedly they just moved to Charlotte. Yeah. But he could never come visit his children. So those are the things that bothers me. Maybe one day I share some of y'all with y'all some of the stories of CPR, because God has definitely changed me. Definitely changed me. That's why I try to stay away from drama, because especially on the internet or whatever, because I can't reach out and touch you. So I'm not about to argue with you. And I don't like to argue. So anywho, what do y'all think? What do y'all think? My husband even was feeling some type of way. He was like, "What?" I'm like, "What do y'all think? Tell me what y'all think." That's it. That was something on my heart. I hope that y'all watch the whole video. If you watch the whole video, say deuces in the India comment. All right. Love you guys. Stick to your script because you're the best at it.